Hello. So I was in Applebee's today. I was just trying to get some insight, some new insight, and I picked up this. I had a guy come up to me. Well, not come up to me. He's sitting at the bar, and he sitting there for a while. Like I could feel his eyes on me. But then he finally said something, and he says, "Hey, excuse me," which is fine. He says, "Excuse me, um, can I ask you a question?" And he asked me what I do. And that's a long explanation because I do a lot of things. I make jewelry, I do hair, I write. I'm pretty random. So I answer the question as best I can. And we just kind of get into it. He starts asking me a lot of questions, which is normal. They want to pretend like they want to get to know you. But you can see him. He's sitting at the bar. He hasn't asked me my name. which is a telltale sign that he's really just, you see what he's thinking. You already know what he's thinking. He just wants to see what he can get away with. So I'm answering his questions, as best that I can with as little detail as possible. And then he keeps giving me this look, like with this question look on his face, and I point out to him that he's doing it, and that I would like him to stop. I say, I'm sitting here telling you everything you would want to know. There's no reason for you to be kind of looking at me like you're trying to figure me out. I'm sitting here telling you, if you freaking listen, you would know you know all about me. So obviously you don't want to know about me because I'm sitting here telling you everything you could possibly want to know if you really wanted to get to know me. So I tell him, I was like, look, I said, you give me this look like you don't understand something. I'm telling you everything. Stop trying to look like you're trying to figure me out so that I'll think that you want to know me better. I'm telling you everything. So then he just can't help himself because he's drinking. So he just kind of keeps going. And then I say, like, there's no reason for you to be like the way that you're being because I'm not interested in myself. So, and then I'm not even looking, so it wouldn't even matter. So you could just, you could just be honest and say, I come here to gain insight on what's going on in the dating world and how guys react to girls still, just to make sure everything is still the same, which it always is. And, but he won't let up, of course, because he already had this thing set in his mind. Poor thing. I mean, you should have seen him. There's no way this was going to happen. but it's understandable. So, by the end, like, he told me he was getting into something, kind of letting me know why he's asking all the questions he's asking, saying, as an educated man, like a college, graduate or whatever, that, he's learned that this will tell you this, and that's why he's asking me all these questions. So ultimately, it ended up being like, he asked me where I was from, and I said, the East Coast. So I didn't want to tell him exactly where I'm from. Honestly, I just was tired of him, and I wanted him to kind of go away. I didn't want to answer the questions anymore, so I kind of gave him vague answers. So I say, East Coast. He says, where's that? I said, the East Coast. He said, oh, like California? So I said, are you serious? Like, wait, what college did you go to again? And he said, why? What is that? How is that relevant? I said, because I said the East Coast and you called out California. And then now you're saying you don't know what the East Coast is, that you've never heard of the East Coast. So I got to assume there's no way that you went to a university. I'm wondering if you graduated from elementary school. I'm just saying. So I told him, I said, look, I sat here, you asked me questions, I answered you, I've humored you long enough, but you just got proven that you're sitting here lying to me. I'm not going to entertain this foolishness anymore. It was nice to meet you. Can you please stop talking to me? So he says, "Oh, you know, wow. I mean, you know, no, what I'm saying." I said, "No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, you just like you tell me what college you went to, and people are usually pretty proud of their alma mater. So I'm saying, like, what college did you go to?" He refuses to answer the question. I say, "Exactly, which means you've been lying to me, sitting here lying to me, and I don't entertain that foolishness." So, like I said, I'm not being rude. Like I said, it was nice meeting you. And he's like steady trying to talk. I put my hand up and went back to my phone, like I was fiddling with my phone. And I'm saying, like, this is the kind of foolishness. It's like, why try to approach me? And I'm sitting here, I'm being completely open. Like, you ask me a question, straight up answering it. And you sitting there telling me these stories. There was no reason. You don't even know me well enough to know whether you need to lie to me or not. Like, it's ridiculous, but it just shows this particular guy had literally nothing going for him. And you can see that in the particular lies that he chose to tell. So in this, I gained that some things never change. And when you look at a guy, it's not always easy to tell whether he is worth anything at all, like whether he has any kind of deep value whatsoever. Whether he has anything to really offer intellectually or just, within his character. You can tell by when he looks. So when I first looked up, when he tried to get my attention and I looked up, I got that feeling. Like, this right here is one of those random dudes just trying to holler. I don't know why he thought he had the time of day, but he tried anyway. More power to you. But I'm just saying, I could tell, and I was right. I mean, there's sometimes where it happens and then not. Sometimes they're cool guys. Like, while I was in there was a dude who bought me a drink. I could hardly see him. There was a guy in the way of where he was sitting. He was sitting in a chair, and I was sitting at the bar, and there was a guy sitting at the bar who was blocking this guy. But Trevor brings me a drink, and he says, this drink was bought by that guy, and he points at him. So I lean back so I can see him, but he's not even looking at me. So I had to wait till he was leaving the bar to say thank you. But even that in itself was game. But it was good game because he left. It was a chance. It's a game in the game of chance. See, he didn't want to take the chance of saying anything to me, right? Because I might reject him, which I probably would have. Just saying. But he bought the drink, and then when he left, and I said thank you, he said, "Oh, you're welcome," and kept going. He didn't stop, say what's your name or nothing. But Applebee's is a common place. People who come there are usually common, and I noticed that even a waitress that works there stopped and sat and talked to him. So I know he's a regular. So I know that is game. But it's good game. It's good. If there's game, there's good game. But this guy right here, this dude sitting next to me, just running his mouth for about 30 minutes. Just kind of like, and then he told me, like, once I cut him off, and he was like, "Excuse me." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "I've never had anybody just kind of be, I've never been shut down that hard before." And I said, "Well, sometimes it's good for you. It's humbling." I said, "I sat here and entertained you, and I answered your questions as you asked, and all this, and you chose to take that as a time to tell me stories. And this is the consequence. I don't really want to listen to any stories. I figured out that you tell stories. I don't want to listen to stories, so I stopped listening. And that's on you." I said, "It's good for you. It's humbling." And then he kept talking like, "But I don't get it." And I said, "That's enough. Like I said, it was nice talking to you." And I put my hand up. So, lesson here is that a guy at the bar, if you have nothing to offer, no intellectual conversation to offer, if you don't have anything to talk about, nothing happened in your day that you really want to discuss, don't bother asking a girl a billion freaking questions. And then has the last question, not to mention, the last question that he asked me was, "What is your name?" By then, I told him, after 30 minutes of him asking me a billion questions and giving me this question mark look, I finally asked him, he finally asked me what my name was. By then, I don't want to tell you my name. I'm not going to tell you my name. There's no way you're going to find out my name. If you find out my name, it'll be next time you see me, walk up to me and ask me first, "Hello, what is your name?" I'm not going to tell you my name, and you won't be able to find out because no one